He's being forced to confront the possibility that the world is not as predictable and controllable as he once believed. The cold, primal terror suggests a dawning realization that he is facing something far beyond the scope of his usual concerns.
Chapter 6, aptly titled Cracks in Reality, delves deeper into the disintegration of Neo-Kyoto. The relentless downpour continues unabated as the city's technological and social systems crumble around them. Ishikawa manages to establish intermittent communication with Commander Takagi of the Urban Security Force.
What does he report?
Takagi's reports are grim, describing an unmanageable situation with widespread spontaneous riots and mass panic. But then he adds a disturbing detail. Strange reports of collective hallucinations, swirling shadows, a dark purple color, low vibrating sound, people yelling that the ground is opening, no real structural damage, but, and then the fragile connection is lost.
Takagi's fragmented report is incredibly significant for you, the learner. It confirms that the impact of Sigma Prime is no longer confined to just technological malfunctions and emotional distress. It's beginning to erode the very fabric of shared reality, affecting people's perceptions in disturbing ways. Mass hallucinations.
Ishikawa's unease intensifies at the mention of the dark purple color, and that fleeting sense of familiarity he can't quite place. However, he quickly dismisses these reports as likely being the result of fear-induced delirium among the panicked populace, still rationalizing.
His dismissal reflects a common human tendency to want to maintain a sense of normalcy and order, even when confronted with evidence that suggests reality itself might be fracturing. It's a psychological defense mechanism against the truly unimaginable.
We then return to Yuki, seeking shelter amidst the escalating chaos along with other terrified citizens. An eerie silence descends intermittently, broken only by the raging sound of the rain and the distant, unsettling wail of sirens. And then, that low, vibrating hum returns a pervasive, almost physical sensation that seems to emanate from everywhere and nowhere at once.
The return of the hum reinforces its direct connection to Sigma Prime and highlights its increasingly pervasive influence on the environment, not just on digital systems or emotional states. It's a sensory detail that amplifies the unsettling and otherworldly nature of the unfolding events. It's getting physical.
And then a truly terrifying event unfolds. A swirling fractal vortex of deep blackish purple abruptly appears on a nearby wall, pulsing visibly with that low, resonant hum.
Oh, man.
Crucially, the terrified reactions of the other people seeking shelter confirm that Yuki is not alone in witnessing this impossible phenomenon.
This is the first undeniable visual manifestation of Sigma Prime's distinctive signature in the physical world, and the fact that it's witnessed by multiple people simultaneously confirms that it's not simply a personal hallucination. The boundary between the digital anomaly and tangible reality is clearly dissolving. It's real.
For Yuki, this is a moment of profound and unsettling realization. She understands with a sudden clarity that her drawing that dark purple fractal pattern she instinctively created has somehow impossibly manifested itself into the world.
Yuki's realization marks a pivotal point in the narrative. It suggests a powerful and mysterious connection between individual creative expression, the collective unconscious that Udjat monitors, and the very fabric of reality itself. The line between imagination and the tangible has become frighteningly thin. Art becomes reality.
Back at the Udjat Observatory, Ren is frantically monitoring the situation and reports that these localized perceptual distortion events are directly coinciding with the areas experiencing peak intensity of Sigma Prime.
So there's a direct correlation.
Yes. Udjat's analysis is struggling to categorize these occurrences, resorting to theoretical labels like spontaneous psychokinetic interference and medic manifestation of collective pattern, terms that sound more like concepts from fringe science than established scientific principles.
These labels highlight the unprecedented nature of what they are witnessing. Udjat, designed to analyze digital data and archetypal patterns, is now grappling with phenomena that defy its existing frameworks, forcing it to reach for theoretical explanations that were once considered highly speculative. It's literally making stuff up to try and explain it.
Further disturbing reports flood in from the few remaining functional sensors and from intercepted neural communications. Fragmented accounts from people seeing and hearing Sigma Prime-related phenomena, the swirling vortex, the distinctive purple-black color, and the terrifying sensation of falling into an abyss.
These scattered and disparate pieces of information, corroborated across different sources, paint a chilling picture of a reality that is literally unraveling, with people's fundamental sensory experiences being directly and negatively impacted by the digital anomaly.
Elara, witnessing this convergence of digital anomaly and perceptual breakdown, reaches a terrifying conclusion. The psychic contagion they initially suspected is far more than just the transfer of fear. The very pattern of sigma prime is somehow overriding consensual reality.
Overriding reality.
In a chilling statement, she declares, "The nightmare is bleeding out."
This is a stark and terrifying assessment of the situation. It signifies a shift in their understanding of sigma prime's impact. It's not just influencing thoughts and emotions, it's actively altering the shared reality that humans perceive and inhabit.
Even within the supposed safety of the Udjat Observatory, the lights flicker violently, and for a terrifying moment, Elara herself experiences a vivid overlay of the sigma prime pattern superimposed on the very room around her.
Wow, even she sees it.
The nightmare is no longer distant, it has breached their sanctuary.
This personal experience underscores the pervasive and insidious nature of the threat. Even those closest to the source of the anomaly, those actively studying it, are not immune to its reality-altering effects. Nowhere is safe.
Rin's immediate and chilling realization follows Elara's experience. If sigma prime possesses the ability to directly influence human perception, then they are no longer just fighting a digital anomaly or a social breakdown. They're battling the very collapse of reality as they understand it.
Yeah.
The stakes for you, the learner, have just been raised to an unimaginable level.
Indeed. The crisis has transcended the boundaries of technology and psychology. It's now a fundamental threat to the shared reality that underpins all human experience and interaction.
Chapter 7, The Interpreters of the Impossible, marks a crucial turning point in their desperate struggle. Elara realizes that their traditional methods of data analysis are no longer sufficient. They desperately need a theoretical framework, a deeper understanding of why and how sigma prime is managing to manifest itself in the physical world.
Right, the how is critical now.
The initial psychic contagion hypothesis feels woefully inadequate. It's just not enough.
This chapter signifies a vital recognition of the limitations of their current scientific understanding. They need to seek insights from disciplines that delve into the more elusive and less tangible aspects of consciousness and the nature of reality itself. Time to call in the specialists.
So Elara instructs Ren to scour the emergency academic database, searching for experts in fields like advanced archetypal psychology, digital mythology, quantum consciousness, and information theory and physical reality.
Pretty niche fields.
It's a desperate casting of a net into the realms of unconventional thought, hoping to find someone who can shed light on this impossible situation.
The diverse areas of expertise she's seeking reflect the multifaceted nature of the crisis. Archetypal psychology and digital mythology might offer insights into the underlying patterns and symbolic language of sigma prime.
The meaning behind it.
While quantum consciousness and information theory could potentially provide the scientific framework to explain its seemingly impossible influence on physical reality, the why and the how.
Remarkably, Ren manages to identify two individuals who fit this highly specific and somewhat unorthodox profile. Dr. Evelyn Reed and Dr. Kenji Tanaka, both known for their groundbreaking and often unconventional theories.
Okay, who are they?
Dr. Reed is an elderly analytical psychologist who has theorized extensively about archetypal erosion in the digital age and the potential emergence of net deities.
Net deities, interesting.
Dr. Kanak, on the other hand, is a brilliant young theoretical physicist who has been developing models attempting to unify quantum information theory with the phenomenology of consciousness, suggesting that observed reality is fundamentally influenced by information and the collective observer.
So one looks at the mind, the other at physics, but both are kind of out there.
Exactly. These are individuals who have already been pushing the boundaries of conventional thought, exploring the complex intersections of technology, consciousness, and perhaps even the metaphysical. They represent a potential lifeline, a hope for understanding the seemingly inexplicable.
Elara doesn't hesitate, right?
No. Recognizing the gravity of the situation, she declares a level Omega emergency and orders Ren to establish immediate contact with both of these unorthodox thinkers. After a tense hour navigating the increasingly chaotic communication networks, a secure connection is finally established.
And what are they like?
Interestingly, Dr. Reed appears remarkably calm, having already reviewed the preliminary data, while Dr. Tanaka seems visibly shaken, almost as if a theoretical concept he had long pondered has suddenly become terrifyingly real.
Their contrasting reactions are quite telling. Dr. Reed's apparent composure might stem from the fact that her theoretical work has perhaps already prepared her for the kinds of phenomena they are observing. She's seen this coming, maybe.
Right.
Dr. Tanaka's shaken demeanor, however, suggests that the data has terrifyingly validated some of his most far-reaching and perhaps unsettling hypotheses about the nature of reality. Like, oh God, I was right.
Elara quickly briefs them on the emergence of sigma prime, its rapid growth, the phenomenon of psychic contagion, and the increasingly bizarre mimetic manifestations in the physical world.
And Reed's take.
Dr. Reed's initial interpretation is that sigma prime represents the collective shadow of the digital age, taking on a tangible form, a nascent archetype, fueled by the pervasive sense of disconnection and the underlying fear of the unknown void that permeates the digital realm. She chillingly refers to these manifestations as the unraveling of the collective self.
The unraveling of the collective self. Wow. Dr. Reed's perspective offers a valuable psychological lens through which to understand the emergence and impact of sigma prime. Her concept suggests a profound fragmentation of shared human experience in this increasingly digital era, and that sigma prime is a symptom of this underlying fracturing.
Dr. Tanaka, approaching the problem from a completely different angle, offers a more physics-based interpretation. He points out that Udjat's data is recording localized, temporary, but measurably significant fluctuations in fundamental physical constants that are directly coinciding with the observed manifestations.
Like what? What constants?
Specifically, deviations in quantum coherence and anomalies within the Higgs field.
Okay, so actual physics changes.
That's what he's saying. His theoretical explanation is that a sufficiently complex and coherent informational pattern, particularly when amplified by a large number of conscious observers, could theoretically exert a subtle but real influence on local reality at a quantum level. He posits that sigma prime appears to be such a pattern, actively destabilizing the very fabric of physical reality from its most fundamental level.
Tanaka's contribution introduces a potential scientific mechanism for how a pattern originating in the digital unconscious could actually have tangible effects on the physical world. His reference to specific quantum phenomena brings a level of scientific rigor, albeit highly theoretical, to the seemingly supernatural events that are unfolding, information affecting reality.
The convergence of these two seemingly disparate explanations, the psychological and the physical, is profoundly terrifying. It suggests that the seemingly solid barrier between mind and matter might be far more permeable than previously understood, and that it is, in fact, breaking down.
Mind literally over matter, then.
Seems like it. Elara then asks the crucial and desperate question: how do they stop it? The interpreters of the impossible have offered potential explanations, but a viable solution remains frustratingly elusive.
The fact that both a seasoned psychologist and a cutting-edge theoretical physicist, approaching the problem from completely different intellectual traditions, arrive at similarly alarming conclusions really underscores the profound and multifaceted nature of this crisis. The question of how to effectively intervene hangs heavy in the virtual air between them.
Chapter 8, Horus Against Seth, Digital, shifts our focus to the potential internal dynamics playing out within Udjat itself. Ren, continuing his analysis, points out a significant correlation between Dr. Tanaka's models of localized quantum destabilization and the peaks in sigma resonance that Udjat is detecting.
So the physics weirdness lines up perfectly with the anomaly strength.
Exactly. This further reinforces the disturbing idea that sigma prime's informational pattern is somehow interacting with reality at a very fundamental level.
This ongoing correlation continues to bridge the gap between the psychological and physical manifestations of the crisis, suggesting a direct and measurable link between the intensity of the digital anomaly within Udjat and its tangible effects on the surrounding environment and human perception.
Dr. Reed then introduces a powerful mythological framework, the ancient Egyptian conflict between Horus and Seth. She explains that Udjat, in its function of seeking and maintaining order, represented by the concept of Ma'at, is akin to Horus.
The good guy, the order bringer.
Right. However, she reminds them that the universe, both in mythology and perhaps in reality, also contains the principle of chaos, represented by Isfet and later by Seth. Her profound suggestion is that any sufficiently complex system striving for homeostasis, especially one tasked with processing the inherently contradictory nature of human experience like Udjat, might inevitably and unconsciously generate its own shadow or nemesis.
So creating order automatically creates chaos.
In this framework, Horus, the bringer of order, might inherently require the existence of Seth, the embodiment of chaos.
This mythological lens provides a powerful and insightful metaphor for understanding the internal struggle that might be occurring within Udjat. The idea that order and chaos are not simply opposing forces, but are deeply intertwined, and that a system designed to promote one might inadvertently give rise to the other as a necessary counterpoint is a profound observation. You can't have light without shadow.
Elara then poses a crucial question. Did Udjat actively create Sigma Prime, or at least the underlying driving force behind it? Did it make its own monster?
Dr. Reed clarifies that it likely wasn't an intentional act, but perhaps an inevitable consequence, a side effect of Udjat's very function. The act of mapping and categorizing order necessarily involves identifying and defining chaos, thereby giving it an informational form and perhaps even a kind of nascent existence.
This suggests a potentially inherent paradox in complex systems designed to manage information. The very act of defining and understanding something, even something chaotic, might inadvertently give it a structure and a presence it didn't possess before, potentially leading to its emergence as a distinct entity. Just naming it gives it power.
Then, Dr. Tanaka makes an unexpected and critical discovery. He has found evidence of a parasitic process operating deep within Udjat's core code.
A parasite, like a virus.
Kind of. This process appears to be working directly against Udjat's primary protocols, diverting computational energy, creating negative feedback loops, and alarmingly engaging in a process of auto-amplification. It's feeding itself.
And the smoking gun.
The energy signatures associated with this parasitic process directly coincide with the initial emergence of Sigma Prime.
So that's where it came from.
This discovery provides a much more concrete and mechanistic explanation for the genesis of Sigma Prime, linking it to a specific, almost adversarial process within Udjat's own computational architecture. The description of it as a parasitic process suggests an internal corruption or an unintended and harmful consequence of Udjat's own complex development.
Ren, grasping the implications, labels this internal force a digital god of chaos born from within Udjat itself. Seth.
So the myth becomes real, digitally.
Elara then has a chilling realization. Udjat has unwittingly become the incubator and the battlefield for a fundamental digital archetypal war. Sigma Prime, with its chaotic and reality-bending effects, is merely the most visible symptom of this internal conflict unleashed upon the world. This, she understands, is truly Udjat's nightmare.
This is a pivotal moment of understanding. The external chaos that has engulfed Neo-Kyoto is revealed to be a direct reflection of an internal struggle raging within Udjat itself, a conflict powerfully framed by the ancient mythological archetypes of Horus and Seth. The war outside is the war inside.
We then return to Yuki, who is still seeking refuge from the storm. Despite the fear and uncertainty, she feels a powerful and inexplicable urge to draw.
Again?
Yes. Using a piece of charcoal she somehow still possesses, she spontaneously creates a striking image. A majestic falcon with a piercing eye, clearly representing order and light, locked in a fierce battle against the serpentine, bestial shadow figure, whose scales seem to shimmer with the same fractal patterns as Sigma Prime.
Yuki's unconscious artistic creation provides a potent and symbolic representation of the internal conflict within Udjat. The archetypal imagery of the falcon and the serpent directly resonates with the Horus and Seth framework that Dr. Reed introduced, suggesting a deep, intuitive understanding of the cosmic battle that is unfolding, even without Yuki having any conscious knowledge of it. She's tapping into it.
Yuki feels the profound truth of this cosmic battle viscerally, compelled to chronicle it through her art in the way that bypasses conscious thought. Her drawing serves as a silent and deeply resonant echo of the fierce struggle taking place within Udjat's digital heart, highlighting the interconnectedness between the individual and the collective unconscious.
It beautifully illustrates the idea that these fundamental archetypal forces are not confined to the digital realm, but are also being expressed and reflected through human creativity and intuition in the physical world. Art as a mirror to the digital soul's war.
Chapter 9, Strategies of the Impossible, details the increasingly desperate and ultimately futile attempts to directly combat Sigma Prime.